我们反对的是共产党，它给世界带来了恐惧。这个带来的恐惧的原因，就是因为我们懦弱、自私。他们70年来欺骗了全世界，威胁了中国人，才让中国共产党有今天在全世界的风头。大家想一想，我郭文贵如果去了其他国家，我的结局是什么？不是把我锯掉了，是直接把我放到机器里变成火腿肠了，锅式火腿肠。而且在座的很多华人朋友，你们根本没有机会站在这个舞台上，因为共产党70年来都是成功的。
Evil done in Victoria streets, painted red and woodline. The handgun, the curtains untied, the undercounted bouts of treasures are counterfeit, marching outside. It's Scotland Yards, they be working all night long. Nobody's left to go on the go for doubles back, smiling face on. They sounded like a 70s. This place and girl, let me play out your ending. The morning light will always fade away. To this taking from outside.
他的恐吓，他的蓝金黄，他的威胁，让我们失去了尊严，失去了安全，失去了发声的自由和权利。我们感恩美国，我们感恩西方的媒体朋友们，与我们一起寻求真相，寻求正义。
How can the truth get exposed to places where no one goes? A simple smell of a rose, the secrets start to unfold. Every person wears a mask of fashion, reason and lie. Every action has a reason, that reason desire. Oh Father, 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 oh Father, Father, Father. In this life, how can we live without never sinning just once? We can forgive and forget, but we can live and let rest that cannot take the pieces that are come to you and set light up. I hear a step close behind me, familiar smell, a flashing light. The door opens, we're turning around, the pages blind, and then written. Touch, no, someone at me, whoa, whoa, no, this much felt too much to know, I know it's the end, can't help but think of the reason I fought to defend the only justice and you now lives on silently, words written to be seen. These ways say sound of love and it's level in, one turning around the page line and the written reason we have the touch, no, someone at me, whoa, whoa, no, this much life will always fade away tonight. To this taking from outside.
共产党对西方的威胁，绝对不是我在这里能形容的。接下来用我们的行动来证明给所有的全人民看，共产党是世界上最大的毒瘤。共产党一天待在中国，它都是人类最大的威胁。郭文贵总是有一句话，我们老叫深陷羊骨陷大陷。
In the past few days, many Westerners have asked me, Miles, we know how much the Chinese Communist Party's economic collapse would hurt our country. Please give us suggestions on the impact it will cause. I told them, it is definitely not the short-term economic recession, the stagnation of the financial market, or the decline of stock markets that you can imagine. It is not that simple. It's definitely not as simple as a stock market plummet or decline. The impact on society would be extensive, and it would not be possible to recover in the next 5, 10, or even 20 years. So, I told them, you must realize that this threat for any country will probably be an economic disaster, and even lead to political and social unrest. It may even trigger a series of problems, like religions, races, and wealth disparities that have been covered up in society, and may eventually lead to regime change or even social unrest. This is what the CCP has long understood. If you don't let me be the boss one day, I will make it difficult for any of you. This is the gangster mentality of the Chinese Communist Party. In the former Soviet Union and all socialist countries, like Venezuela, this is clearly evident. In North Korea, as long as I am not allowed to be the emperor, none of you will survive. If anyone dares to influence me, none of you can live. The CCP believes that this works well, especially because the CCP worships North Korea's style that makes its people, willingly, I don't know whether they are willing or not, to be their slaves to work for them. The CCP believes that the best way to rule the Chinese people is the North Korean model. The CCP wants to rule the world. If you don't listen, the CCP will turn the world into North Korea. If you don't obey, the CCP will kill you politically, economically, and militarily, including through unrestricted warfare and biochemical weapons. Therefore, the evil of the CCP and its dangers are definitely unclear to many Western countries. Human beings are very sad. They don't understand the CCP because they have lived a good life for too long.
Madame, Monsieur, bonjour. Welcome to Lila Rouge. Why Xi Jinping's health impact the fate of the world? From Mao's revelation on March 11, 2023, Xi Jinping has officially established the new acts of evil to attack the free and democratic world. Dictators such as Xi Jinping have completely become the public enemy of all mankind. As leader of the acts of evil, Xi Jinping have great impact on the fate of the world. Mike Pompeo posted that on January 30th, Americans must recognize that the Chinese Communist Party links these crises together. His support for Iran, Russia, North Korea, Venezuela has made the world far less safe. The CCP's challenge is here at home of America. So in the research labs, the government research institutions, and the information space, the CCP is inside the gate of United States. However, Xi Jinping is a spotlight of the world now. Today, we are going to talk about the global influences of Xi Jinping's superpower and super crazy behaviors, and most importantly, what kind of impact on the world because of his physical state. So, the Communist Party, Xi Jinping's biggest plan is to be the only dictator king in the world. But the world can't tolerate him as an evil dictator. So to survive, he must be extremely brutal to threaten and frighten the world in order to build his kingdom. What he did was to take control of all the world's petroleum energy like the Strait of Hormuz, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Middle East, and other important oil-producing areas. Yes, she got it. Which we can find out from the report of United States Institute of Peace. Beijing has endeavored to maintain cordial relations with all entities in the region and uniquely among external capitals has remarkably successful at doing so. At least up to the current crisis, China, for example, has enjoyed good relations with both Iran and Saudi Arabia as well as with the Palestinians. Beijing's brokering of the normalization of Saudi-Iranian relations, especially by China itself, which considered as evidence of China's growing influence in the Middle East and diplomatic clout. The CCP provokes the war in the energy regime. Look at the Russian-Ukrainian war, Israeli-Palestinian war, to destroy the world economy which is ongoing. And the CCP is supporting Russia, Hamas, at the very beginning of the war. All the CCP want is to let the United States and the Western world to kowtow in order to keep his dictatorship regime. The world's Holocaust has just begun. The CCP has not organized the reception of the diplomatic relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia, Syria, UAE, Russia and other dictatorship countries will follow up to form the new arcs of evil. Xi Jinping has launched currency, energy, financial, and biochemical unrestricted warfare. On the West, yes, of course, the communist Xi Jinping, by committing all the evil deeds which portrayed Asians as bad people. But the Communist Party doesn't represent Chinese people, and the Chinese people are the first victims of this totalitarian regime.
Do you know what 311 means? It is the day that the CCP publicly announces the establishment of diplomatic ties between Saudi Arabia and Iran after its 2 sessions. The establishment of the diplomatic ties between Saudi and Iran is of great significance. Let me tell you, Syria will be next and then the UAE. The entire Middle East, Iran, and Syria. The CCP will then collaborate with Russia to lead a new United Nations. A new United Nations. And then, you see, the CCP elects Emperor Xi, who rules it all. For the past 24 hours, it has proved that Emperor Xi is the only one holding power and his influence is greater than Mao Zedong once had. What great news this is! 911 was a competition between the United States and terrorists, with some interest groups behind it. Now it's the battle between the 2 greatest powers in the world. Only one of the 2 will prevail, and the other will not. The most important thing was the announcement of Comrade, Emperor Xi's inauguration. A real emperor with absolute and centralized power in modern time. Here comes Emperor Xi, and she has sent the West a clear message. Now I will take you down economically, and in the energy sector, then you will have another Russia-Ukraine war. More importantly, in the Russia-Ukraine war, only I reveal this, the CCP's PLA rocket force had already crossed the 38th parallel and arrived in Russia. Just like when Hitler sent his army across the Rhine on March 7, 1936, after tearing up the post-World War I agreement. At the end, no one in France, Italy, England, or Europe spoke up. Hitler was relieved in the church. This was the catastrophe that led to World War II. This was after she sent over the rocket force in the past 70 hours. Ever since the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war, Russia's missiles have never had half the precision and accuracy as they suddenly do now. Many people and governments have asked me about this. One minister of defense of a European government even asked me, Miles, were they using missiles from the CCP? I really have no energy to tell him again. I said, don't be so stupid, okay? It wasn't just missiles from the CCP. It was the CCP who helped them launch the missiles. The operators were from the CCP. Aren't you feeling stupid? This guy was shocked. I said, how can you defeat the CCP like this?
This catastrophe is unimaginable. It could even destroy humanity. It could lead a nuclear war in the world. Dear friends, it is not alarmist talk. Moscow has revived that since Xi Jinping has taken control of a nuclear weapons button, it is possible that he may press a launch button without telling the world in advance. You may wonder how he could be so crazy. Okay, let's review Xi Jinping's personal life. Xi Zhongxin, the father of Xi Jinping, was a Chinese communist revolutionary and subsequent political official in the communist China. He was among the first and the second generation of the Chinese Communist Party. He was one of the founders of the Chinese Communist Party. Xi Jinping is so proud to be the son of the founder of Chinese Communist country. Communist China belonged to him and the world is under his control by birth. That's why he has arrogant personality. At the beginning of his life, this afforded Xi a bunch of lectures, for example, a fancy school. But Xi Jinping was humiliated by his childhood playmates. This was all in the beginning of his antisocial personality. Everything changed during China's Cultural Revolution. Firstly, Xi's father was sent to work in a factory and then later sent to jail on spurious charges. During the Cultural Revolution, the father's incarceration and fall from Greece became cause of huge shame for Xi's family. Xi Jinping was considered as a child of blackguard. Xi got terrible bullying and torment by his classmates. Xi's sister couldn't stand with the attacks and humiliations. She committed suicide in front of Xi Jinping. Even that the revolutionary guards chased him, threatened him to shoot him, and publicly shamed him. It was during this time that government introduced a new policy where children in major cities would be sent to villages around the country to learn firsthand from the rural peasantry. As one of these Shandong youths, she went to the same small village called Liangjiahe. He was hunted down for cheating with a widow. He lived in a cave to avoid being killed. At that time, he had nothing to eat but eggplants. That's why he hated eggplants most. Meanwhile, Xi Jinping couldn't stand the fleas, the poor food, the farm work, and he missed so much his mother. So he ran away to home. His mother had no choice, but reported him to the right guard. He was arrested afterwards. She had to use both hands to hold up the cone-shaped metal head he was made to wear. Xi, his mother, went to the struggle section and sat below the stage, and she was forced to raise her arm and shout the slogan, "Down with Xi Jinping," along with everyone. So in 1972, Xi Jinping finally reunited with his father. Xi's father had been tortured so badly he didn't even recognize his son, and he even ate shit in front of Xi Jinping. As a teenager, Xi Jinping suffered the most humiliations, and those humiliations have transformed his distorted personality. Even though he's the one who hated the Chinese Communist Party, but at the same time, he enjoyed the control of the power and being the supreme elite class, and he used the same brutality towards others in the Communist Party. Ke Lingling, the first wife of Xi Jinping, divorced him after 3 years' marriage. Xi Jinping was so sad that he called Ke Lingling almost every day during the first 3 years of divorcement. But Ke Lingling refused him, and she married with a British guy. The white guy took away Xi Jinping's beloved wife. That's why he hated the white people. During the reform and opening up policy period, Xi Zhongxin supported Hu Yaobang, who was now the same allies with Deng Xiaoping. After the demise of Hu Yaobang, Xi Zhongxin was effectively purged by Deng Xiaoping. The elder Xi's health deteriorated, and he died in 2002 after enduring dark days. Xi Jinping once talked about that in public, people who have little experience with power, those who have been far away from it, tend to regard these things as mysterious and novel. But I took past the superficial things, the power and the flowers and the glory and the applause. I see the detention houses and fickleness of human relationships. I understand politics on a deeper level. All the life experience pushed Xi Jinping to be a brutal dictator, and he enjoyed to be a dictator. The Western world's education in logic and human nature has made it very hard for them to believe that such a demon exists. It is like the Americans don't believe Tiananmen Square massacre, that the Chinese Communist Party would run over students and demonstrators with tanks. They don't believe that the Communist Party would unleash the biochemical weapons COVID-19, which resulted millions people took the toxic COVID vaccine. They don't believe Xi Jinping would destroy Hong Kong. More than 10,000 children were raped and disappeared during Hong Kong umbrella movement. Dear viewers, please prepare for the worst. The communists won't let any peace-loving people escape from his devil's sides. We talked about this, his psychological health. Okay, let's come to Xi Jinping's physical health. Back in history, the death of Stalin in the former Soviet Union after Bogashev came to power. There was the immediate dissolution of the former Soviet Union, Soviets. What is so deadly about Xi Jinping's health? For Miles, the founder of NFSC live broadcast on 15th of May 2022, Xi Jinping had undergone pancreatic surgery, which is extremely dangerous. He had heart bypass surgery in 2020. He had surgery on his spleen. He has a family historical inherited blood disorders that can cause him to have multiple cancers. And he grew up with hydronephrosis. But Xi Jinping's biggest physical problem is his cervical spine, which can at any time cause sudden death due to being hit by a tractor during the Cultural Revolution. Based on the intelligence from NFSC, he also has a liver transplant recently.
As far as I know, Xi's daughter is in America right now. She can't be more than 10 kilometers away from where I am standing now, and has been there for a long time. This is one thing. The second thing I can tell you, and I told you before, it's very clear that she has a pancreatic disease. That's one of his most dangerous diseases. He had surgery, I have told you. He disappeared for a while last year. I said he went for surgery, and it was a successful surgery. His second health problem is that he had bypass surgery on his heart. That was a minor procedure in 2020. And then I also told you that he was hit by a tractor in Liangjia. He was having problems with his cervical spines. That means, whether it's the 6th or the 7th cervical spine, in any moment, another accident could just kill him. He could die at any time. He also has the same brain disease as his father. That's why his father used to drool. His father had the disease, and his brother has too. It's a brain tumor. I think it is called lipoma. And then his spleen. You see, he received surgery for his spleen as well. The fundamental problem for which he had all the surgeries was his blood. Everyone in the Xi family has a blood genetic problem that causes these tumors, called lipomas. Look at his earliest days. Look at what I have told you. So, his spleen, pancreas, and kidneys. His kidneys have problems too. He's had hydronephrosis since he was a kid. So, these health problems, including his brain disease, run in his family. Then Xi's biggest problem is still his cervical spine. This is his biggest threat. She never prepares his will in his life. She doesn't believe or say that he doesn't care. Strictly speaking, it's a reaction to fear. He has no will or fear. And he is crazy. These diseases make him even crazier. That's why I said Xi's disease links to the lives of the Chinese. Xi's disease is tightly linked to the lives of the Chinese people. For all of the Chinese, if Xi's disease cannot discourse China's fate, the Chinese are doomed this time. This is the reason that Xi's personality and health are related to the destiny of the world and the Chinese people. I believe it's the end of the year. The end of the year is a turning point. Next year, no later than July of next year or even before July of next year, the condition of Xi's health and the extent of Xi's control will be revealed.
Xi Jinping's close allies also broke as news in the past to NFSC that the biggest crisis now is Xi Jinping's health, which could potentially determine the fate of the world. From Mao's revelation on January 18, 2023, according to the top secret intelligence of New Federal State of China, Xi Jinping's health has been extremely bad since 2022, and after 3 surgeries, Xi Jinping has to rely on multiple doctors to care for him, and he needs to rely on serum adenosine, which it is extracted from human blood to keep him alive. Beijing's West Mountain and Yuquan Mountain were his personal medical safety center, and he goes to this place more and more frequently. Moreover, Xi Jinping has been infected with COVID twice, and he also cured with artemisium and ivermectin. Xi Jinping feels that his health is failing, and he may die at any time. Dear viewers, with potential health concern, these two dictators, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, it was mentioned about that both China and Russia may potentially disintegrate into multiple federal states and may no longer be dominated by one party. Mao Zedong, the founder of the new federal state of China, has stated many times that after the demise of the Communist Party, the NFSC will never be involved in the politics of China, but NFSC will always oversee the birth of a new regime in which the people of China will realize one person, one vote, independence, rule of law, and freedom of worship. The downfall of the Communist Party may happen very soon. We, the new federal state of China, and the global forces of justice such as the United States and Europe, are doing our best we can to allow China to transform from dictatorship control to more democratic countries with one person, one vote, democratic free country. We want to ensure the transition can be as peaceful as it can be to avoid human catastrophe. Dear viewers, the majority of Communist Party members are good people, and the world will be at peace with the elimination just dozens of Communist Party leaders. The wisdom and the goodness of Chinese people, and the fact that the Chinese people have never sought the territory and the rights of other countries, deserve a better and brighter future. A peaceful future. The new China and the new federal state of China's influence will establish a 1,000-year peace agreement with the West, which is supported by the international community. The world will be open to the new China without CCP, and the new China will embrace this relationship with warmness and kindness. And this is the ultimate goal of the new federal state of China. Okay. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Down the CCP, take down the CCP. Follow me and I'ma set us free. Take down the CCP. Let me tell you what I've been through, baby. Lived a life that was hella unfair. Seen things that been driving me crazy. In a country where the leaders don't care. Didn't think we had the courage to change it. Tore it down and they weren't prepared. Everything that they kept us from saying. Now we talking and they better be scared. Take from us. Tell us what and who to love. Swear I finally had enough. It's time to rise above. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Follow me and I'ma set us free. Take down the CCP. I said, hey, down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Communism's dead to me because it killed our families. The CCP.